The Lord has been impressing on my heart to do a devotional series on the book of Nehemiah. It is full of such precious pearls, and I encourage you to read through the book. So the first devotion is on Nehemiah 1 verse 4, and it says, "When I heard this, I sat down and wept. In fact, for days I mourned, fasted, and prayed to the God of heaven." So after 70 years in exile, the Jews had returned home and rebuilt the temple in Jerusalem. They were able to worship God in their own land, but the city still lay in ruins. The once great capital of the promised land was in rubble heap, and the wall was torn down. The entrance city gate was burnt by fire. This was the land God gave them as an inheritance. This was the promised land given to Abraham and his descendants. So when Nehemiah gets this news, he hears this and something in his heart just breaks. The Bible tells us exactly what he did in that moment. He sat down, he wept, he mourned, he fasted, and he prayed to the God of heaven. Nehemiah then sets his heart to restore the city walls. The book of Nehemiah is about reestablishing God's people, both physically in the land as well as spiritually. But this all began in one man with the brokenness of God and anguish in his heart, Nehemiah. So how can this apply to us today? Well, with COVID-19 running rampant in our world, we hear of people losing jobs, we hear of people going to bed hungry, we just hear all of these different things. We hear of locusts, plagues, floods, droughts, fires, and like never before, our hearts should be breaking. Like never before, we should be weeping, we should be mourning, praying to the God of heaven. We need to allow God to burden our hearts and break our hearts to action like he did with Nehemiah.